Namaskar, Honorable Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, invited guests, friends. At the outset, let me congratulate each one of us on behalf of the Assam Royal Global University on this very special occasion of the 77th Republic Day of the country. Exactly 76 years ago, the nation unfurled its national flag in Delhi, the capital of the country, ushering in a new chapter in the history of this great nation. We gained independence from the British on 15th of August 1947. But at that point in time, we gained independence, but we did not have the legal framework, the constitutional framework to govern ourselves. We still had to fall back upon the British remnant of the India Act 1935 with little bit of amendments. The country needed its own legal framework to govern itself. The whole story of having our own constitution followed by our own independence began in 1930 on 26th of January. This day has a very special significance. 26th of January 1930, the Indian National Congress in its Lahore session adopted the resolution that India will become independent, or India was independent at that point in time, and declared what we now know as Purna Swaraj. That was the beginning of our struggle for independence, self-governance. In 1935, M.N. Roy, a very learned thinker, he proposed that for having our own independence to be governed by our own constitution, we must have a constituent assembly elected by our own adult franchises, the citizens, so that we become a democratic nation. That was in 1935. And a constituent assembly was formed. 1947, 15th of August, we got the independence, and soon after, the Constituent Assembly met with its about 300 members and formed the drafting committee, 6-member drafting committee to draft the Constitution of the country. This committee, drafting committee for the Constitution, was chaired by eminent scholar, jurist, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. There were 5 others, eminent scholars. They met for 2 years, 11 months, and exactly 18 days, devoting 11 sessions of the Constituent Assembly, debating, discussing the draft constitution. And eventually, on this day, 1950, 26th of January, it was specifically chosen to symbolize the achievement of an aspiration that began in 1930, 26 January in the Lahore session of the International Congress. So that is why 26 January is being celebrated, observed as the Republic Day of India, when the drafting committee given us the Constitution, the Constituent Assembly adopted it, approved it, accepted it, and we became a republic, sovereign, democratic, committing ourselves to the ideals of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. These are not just words of constitutions. We have to live up to each one of these constitutional values. More so in a university, we have a basic responsibility to promote and protect these constitutional values of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. There was a huge challenge for the country as it had its own governance structure in the form of a constitution. How to reconcile this huge diversity with unity. Authority to govern the nation with liberty. And reconcile with modernity with tradition. These were real challenges. But then we went forward, we forced forward. And that is why 77 years, today is the 77th year, the Constitution of India that was adopted on this day in 1950 is so robust, it's so vibrant that it could withstand the change of time. The Constitution can adapt with the changing time, with the changing needs, but at the same time it can retain its core values and core structure. I would conclude with a message to our students, especially the law students and students of the political science. One of the finest authorities of Indian Constitution is an American scholar. His name was Granville Austin. Granville Austin died in 2014, not too many years ago. Granville Austin wrote 2 books. The Constitution of India, Cornerstone of a Nation. And second, Working of Constitution, the Indian Experience. The first book, The Constitution of India, the cornerstone of a nation, was its doctoral work, was his PhD work. That is the robustness of research. He came from America, spent years in England, in India, in New Delhi, and what is more, a few weeks after his thesis was published in the form of a book called Indian Constitution, the Cornerstone of a Nation, it was cited, referred by none other than the Supreme Court of India in several judgments. That is the robustness of the work. Granville Austin said that Indian Constitution is a living document. The ideals embedded in it, justice, liberty, fraternity, equality, is not just words to be quoted, but it is to be lived. And university is the place where we can promote and protect these ideals and values. Because university is the place where we question, we refine knowledge, and we promote tolerance of other ideas. So therefore, Constitution of India is not just a document, it's a living document. According to Austin, this document was driven by a social revolution to bring every citizen of the country to its fold. Inclusivity, equality, that's a huge task. So I will not prolong. Once again, let me congratulate all of us on this very sacred day, and let us please remember that we have moral duty, responsibility to protect the ideals of Constitution. It is not for only one day to celebrate the Constitution, but every day we should live every ideals that is embedded, that is ingrained in our Constitution. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.